Cubs fans, brace yourselves, because what I'm about to tell you will send chills down your spine and fire through your veins all at once. Right now, as we speak, your beloved Chicago Cubs are standing at the most critical crossroads this franchise has faced since that magical 2016 run. We're talking about a perfect storm of hope, heartbreak, and raw determination that's about to define the entire trajectory of this season. Picture this. A rookie phenom is quietly becoming the savior your rotation desperately needs, while veterans battle through the kind of adversity that either breaks teams or forges champions. Meanwhile, your front office is playing chess in a market that's stacked against them, with millions of dollars and playoff dreams hanging in the balance. And through it all, one superstar's return reminds us exactly what separates contenders from pretenders in this unforgiving game we love. Cubs fans, I need you to hit that like button right now if you're ready for the emotional roller coaster I'm about to take you on. Comment below and tell me you're here for every twist and turn, because this story has more drama than a Game 7 World Series finale. The Cubs season is being written in real time, and the next chapter, it's about to blow your mind. The first revelation involves a young arm who's carrying the weight of Wrigleyville on his shoulders. And Cubs fans, he might just be strong enough to handle it all. Cubs fans, meet your new obsession, Cade Horton. This kid isn't just another prospect getting a cup of coffee in the majors. He's become the lifeline your franchise is clinging to, while everything else seems to be falling apart around him. When Justin Steele went down for the season, when Shota Imanaga hit the injured list, when Javier Assad joined the walking wounded, the Cubs organization looked down into their farm system and found something beautiful. A 22-year-old right-hander with ice in his veins and fire in his fastball. Here's what'll give you goosebumps, Cubs fans. Before Cade Horton even stepped foot on a major league mound, he was dominating AAA Iowa with a 1.24 ERA that had scouts texting each other at midnight. MLB Pipeline's 35th ranked prospect wasn't just ready for the big leagues, he was hungry for them. And when that call came on May 11th, when he made his debut against the Mets, something magical started brewing in the friendly confines. Sure, that first outing was rougher than a Chicago winter, a 6.75 ERA that had some fans reaching for the panic button. But here's what separates champions from wannabes. Cade Horton didn't buckle. He adjusted. He evolved. He lowered that ERA to 4.21 while racking up 19 strikeouts in just 25.2 innings, going 3-0 in a rotation that desperately needed someone to step up and be the anchor they could count on. The kid's got a 5-pitch arsenal that scouts believe could one day make him your ace. Cubs fans, your ace. But right now, he's settling for being the anchor. And honestly, that might be exactly what this team needs. Because when everything else is crumbling, when the pitching staff is posting a mediocre 3.83 ERA that ranks 13th in baseball, Cade Horton is keeping games close, keeping hopes alive, and keeping Cubs fans believing that maybe, just maybe, this season isn't over yet. But Cubs fans, if you think one rookie can solve all your problems, you haven't heard about the gut-wrenching reality check that happened in Washington. Cubs fans, sometimes the most painful losses aren't the blowouts. They're the games where you do everything right, except the one thing that matters most: score runs. Wednesday night in Washington was one of those soul-crushing defeats that remind you why baseball is both the most beautiful and most heartbreaking sport on earth. Your Cubs fell 2-0 to the Nationals in a game that felt like watching a master painter create a masterpiece, only to accidentally spill coffee on the canvas at the very end. Matthew Boyd was absolutely dominant on that mound. Cubs fans, the veteran left-hander gave you 5 innings of pure artistry. No hits, no walks, just strike after strike that had Nationals hitters looking lost and confused. This is what championship rotations are built on, the kind of performance that should have Cubs fans jumping out of their seats and planning parade routes. Boyd has been that reliable fourth starter luxury that most teams can only dream about, and Wednesday night proved exactly why the Cubs needed to capitalize on his brilliance. But here's where your heart breaks, Cubs fans. Bases loaded, nobody out. First inning, Mackenzie Gore looking shakier than a rookie in his first playoff game, and your Cubs couldn't push across a single run, not one. In a sport where momentum is everything, where early leads can deflate opposing crowds and energize your dugout, the Cubs let their golden opportunity slip through their fingers like sand. The real gut punch? watching Kyle Tucker return from his finger injury as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning, knowing he's the heartbeat of this lineup, the difference between being competitive and being dangerous. Tucker makes this team function, Cubs fans. Without him in the lineup regularly, you're getting a preview of how drastically different this Cubs squad becomes. And it's not pretty. Even with late-game heroics from Dansby Swanson and Michael Busch, even with the Cubs maintaining their 4.5-game lead in the NL Central, Wednesday night exposed the harsh reality. Sometimes talent isn't enough. Sometimes dominant pitching gets wasted. And sometimes the baseball gods remind you that this game will humble anyone, anywhere, anytime. But Cubs fans, if you think that loss stings, wait until you hear about the impossible decisions your front office is facing at the trade deadline. Cubs fans, here's where everything gets real, where the rubber meets the road, where championship dreams either become reality or turn into another long winter of what if. Jed Hoyer and the Cubs front office are staring down a trade deadline that could define the next 5 years of this franchise, and the market is absolutely brutal right now. Your Cubs desperately need pitching help. We've established that with Horton's heroics and the injury list that reads like a medical textbook. But here's the cruel twist that'll keep you up at night. The market is completely tilted towards sellers, meaning every team with decent pitching is asking for your best prospects, your future, your organizational soul in return. Sandy Alcantara was supposed to be the dream target, the former Cy Young winner who could transform your rotation overnight. But Cubs fans, reality just punched you in the gut. Alcantara sporting an 8.47 ERA that makes Ben Brown's struggles look like a masterpiece. The Miami Marlins plan to boost his trade value has backfired spectacularly. And now you're left wondering, do you trade valuable assets for a pitcher who's currently worse than what you already have? Hoyer's being realistic, maybe brutally so, when he admits the Cubs might not get the help they need until closer to July 31st. That's 2 more months of hoping Cade Horton's young arm can carry the load. 2 more months of praying Kyle Tucker stays healthy. 2 more months of watching that 4.5-game NL Central lead and wondering if it's enough cushion to survive the storm. Cubs fans, this is where champions are made or broken. This is where organizations show their true colors, where front offices earn their paychecks, where loyal fan bases get rewarded for decades of unwavering support. The next 2 months will test everything you believe about this team, this season, this magical possibility that 2025 could be special. So I need you to double down right now, Cubs fans. Hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over. Share this with every Cubs fan you know, because we're all in this together. Comment below and tell me, do you trust Jed Hoyer to make the right moves? Can Cade Horton carry this rotation to October? And most importantly, are you ready to ride this emotional roller coaster wherever it takes us? Because Cubs fans, if 2016 taught us anything, it's that magic can happen when you least expect it. Heartbreak can turn into triumph in a single swing. And sometimes the most impossible dreams are just waiting for the right moment to come true. The question isn't whether you believe in this team, it's whether you're brave enough to believe in magic one more time.